Hello everyone, welcome to IACE's quiz. Here is your first question, your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Here, a sentence is given with blank in it. You have to fill the blank from the given options. Let's see what is the sentence. As the festival approaches, the number of customers dash. There are two clauses here. First clause, as the festival approaches. Second clause, the number of customers dash. The first clause, as the festival approaches, the verb approaches expresses the sentence is in simple present tense because festival is singular, approaches one singular, so it is in simple present tense. So the next clause also must be in present tense, right? And it is a general saying, so entire sentence must be in simple present. Now look at the options. The number of customers will have increased. We are not talking about future perfect tense, so eliminate that. Has increasing, no way you can go with has plus V4. Next, will be increased, no future and passive, increases, increased. So here increased in past tense we cannot take, so you got your answer as option D, increases. But why increases here? Customers is there, no? Yes, customers means plural, so require plural verb increase, but no, that is not the subject. Here, do remember whenever we have the number of, it always gives singular sense. So you have to take singular verb because the number of means it expresses one as a whole, one single, whereas a number of always takes plural verb because here a number of means a lot of, like some, many. So there we have to use plural verb. Here the number of is there, the number of customers, the number of students, the number of books is singular, so it should be increases. I hope it is clear. Now let's see the next question. Well, here is the next question. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Here, a sentence is given with a blank in it. You have to choose an appropriate word from the given options to fill that blank. Look at the sentence. You will have to undergo a dash of tests before the interview. So what you have to do? So dash of tests. So we have to qualify that tests. So what of test? Large of test. We're not talking about the length or large. So it cannot be the answer. Eliminate. Booklet of test. You know booklet, right? So a book with some pages, booklet is few pages. So that cannot be booklet of test. It's not possible. Series of tests. What is the series? Let's see. What is in the series? Series means a number of events. A number of events, or you can also go with another meaning, sequence. All right, so you can say sequence of tests, yeah, number of tests, giving sense, so could be the possible answer. Now look at this delegation. What do you mean delegation? Let me write here. Delegation means a body of delegates. That is, a group of delegates is called delegation. So can we go with delegation of tests? No way, it's not correct. Eliminate. Design. Design of tests? No. So your answer is option B, series of tests, which means the number. Like you have to take a series of tests. You have to undergo a series of tests. So that means a few tests, like 3, 4, 5, or whatever, like rounds. For every interview we'll do face at least 3 rounds, right? If it is corporate interview, you do have 5 rounds. So that is what we hear. The sentence is communicating a series of tests. That means you're going to have different rounds. Right, now let's see the next one. Well, here is the next question. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Here also you got a fill in the blank, a sentence with blank. Let's see what is the sentence. One has to be very dash during the monsoons, rainy season, as the road becomes slippery. So one has to be very what? Smart. What do you mean smart? Let me write here. The word smart means clean, tidy, and well dressed. So that is what actual meaning of smart. He's smart, she's clean, tidy, and well dressed. So one has to be well dressed, clean, and tidy during the monsoon. We're not talking about smartness of people, so incorrect. Next one, be cautious. What do you mean cautious? Cautious means to be aware. To be aware, or to be aware of, or careful of, any potential problems, like any problems. That means what is this careful of any problems? What is this aware of any problems? That means you have to be careful to avoid any potential problems. You understand what I mean here? Cautious means you have to be careful to avoid any potential problems. That means if any problems are there, you have to avoid them. In order to avoid that means you have to be cautious. That is what. So here one has to be very cautious during the monsoons as the road becomes slippery. Yes, it is giving sense. So could be. Next, presentable. That means able to present oneself or anything. So it should look good and it should be acceptable. So it doesn't give any sense of presentable during the monsoon. No. Prepared. Okay, we can say prepared. One has to be prepared for what? Prepared during the monsoons. Prepared what? It doesn't give sense, not complete sense. Healthy. It doesn't mean you have to be healthy for every monsoon, and it cannot be also. It's not possible you have to be healthy. It doesn't depend upon seasons, right? In monsoon, we tend to, have more cold, cough, and all. So that doesn't give sense. So your answer should be option B, cautious. You have to be cautious. You have to be careful, right? Now let's see the next question. Well, here is the next question. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. So here is a sentence with a blank in it. The judge used his dash in settling the matter. Used his what? So here we require a noun form. Used his what? What did he use? No, no, How can it be no? User is no? Doesn't give sense. If it is knowledge, you can say user is knowledge. Yeah, you can take. But no, no way. Brains, user is brains in settling the matter. No. Tactics. What do you mean tactics? Here, tactic means strategy. Strategy. So tactics means strategies. Next, here we have bias. Here we are not talking about strategies or schemes he plotted to settle the matter. No way. Bias. What is the bias? Here option E, bias means partiality. Partiality, showing partiality. Or let me go with one more meaning for bias. Prejudice. Let me write here. Prejudice. So that means having predefined opinion on someone or something. So it cannot be prejudice or bias, no partiality. So it cannot be the answer. Now number C here, option C. What do you have is discretion. What do you mean discretion? Discretion means judgment. Judgment. What is this judgment? Let me give one more example or one more meaning to make it clear. Judgment means here the word discretion also gives the meaning of ability to decide what should be done in a particular situation. Or I can call instead of ability, I will say it as judge, right? So he has the freedom. So you can go with the freedom. Freedom to decide what should be done in a particular situation. That is called discretion, or simply you can say judgment. So what the judge uses, his judgment, not his tactics, schemes, bias, partiality. No. So the answer should be option C, discretion. Now let's see the next one. Well, here is the next question. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Here you have a fill in the blank, you have to fill it. The sentence reads, the board members could not arrive at a dash regarding the employee. So the board members, okay, could not arrive at a dash. What is that a dash regarding the employee? So could not arrive at what? Judgment. So here, what is the judgment? Judgment means we know verdict, right? Let me write here. Judgment means verdict. Generally, judges give judgment, right? Judges give judgment. But here we are talking about board members. That means it may not be always verdict. So what is the other meaning of judgment? Means judgment also have different meaning. That is come to sensible conclusion. Come to sensible conclusion. So that is the meaning of judgment. So before filling, let's learn the meanings of our remaining words. Here option B, progress. What do you mean progress? Progress means development. So is there any progress in your learning? Development. Next option C, policy. Policy is nothing but a plan. health policy, health plan, life policy, life insurance policies, right. Next, D, dissent. Dissent means disagreement. Like assent, opposite, dissent, disagreement. Okay, next, E, action, right? And you can straight away remove action, eliminate action from the options because action started with A cannot go with A action. It should be an action, right? So we can eliminate. Now, what it should be? The board members could not arrive at a disagreement. We are not talking about disagreement. We are talking about some conclusion regarding an employee. What they have to do with him, right? So that doesn't give the sense of disagreement, so eliminate. Policy, arrive at a plan, no. Progress, development, no. What it should be? Judgment. The board members could not arrive at a judgment regarding the employees. Your answer is option A. Now let's see the next question. Well, here is the next question. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Here you're asked to choose the part which has an error. So this is error detection. Right, look at the question. The priest together with his followers. So the priest together with his followers were fatally injured in the accident which occurred last night near the unmanned railway crossing. So what is the subject here? Let me put here. The priest is noun 1. So noun 2 is his followers. Okay. So whatever it is, let us take that as noun 2. This is noun 2. And this is noun 1. Here two nouns, noun 1 and noun 2, are connected by a conjunction that is together with. Together with is a conjunction here. So you should know the rule in order to answer this question. So the rule is that the conjunctions like with, along with, together with, in addition to, as well as, etc. There are many. I have given a list here. So these conjunctions, whenever are used to connect two nouns, so they take the second noun as additional information. That means only first noun must be considered as subject. The second noun becomes additional information. So if the first noun is singular, the verb must be singular because second noun is additional information. If first noun is plural, the verb must be plural. Now here the first noun, the priest, is a singular noun. So his followers is plural, of course, but now what it became? It connected with together with. So this his followers, together with his followers, this became additional information. Now our subject is only the priest. The priest is singular, so verb must be singular. But what is given here? The verb given in the sentence is were. Right, this is the verb, that is were, which is plural, but we require a singular one, that is was. So replace were with was. So the error is with part B. Hence your answer is option B. So do remember this list. Now let's see the next question. Well, here is the next question. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Here also you are asked to find out which part has an error. Look at the sentence. The young woman who is watching television. So let's highlight here. There are different clauses. So based on the clause, let us highlight the verbs here. The young woman who is watching television in that room lived here for more than a year. So here what do we have is lived. Okay. The young woman who is watching television. Present, here we got past. Let's see what more we got. Lived here for more than a year, but she has never created any problem for us. Here there are three different clauses as you see. The young woman who is watching television in that room, clause 1. The young woman lived here for more than a year, clause 2. She never created any problem for us, clause 3. There are three clauses. In three clauses we got three different tense forms. In 2, here you can see who is watching television. It is in present continuous, right? Has never created, has plus V3, present perfect. So here it is present continuous, there it is present perfect, and here verb is in V2, which expresses past simple or simple past, right? Now you got the error. You cannot have present and past together. Either you write entire sentence in past or present. You can use any four forms of the tense. Present simple, present continuous, present perfect continuous. So does with past, but not present and past together, right? Now, what should be the correction? You got your answer. The error is with the part B. It should not be lived. So you got your answer. But what should be the correction? What should be the correct one? So you see, the young woman who is watching television when is watching present at present. Let me put here. So let me assume this is present. Okay. When she is watching? When is she watching? So watching television is watching television now. It is now. It's present. She is watching now. Right. And let us call this past and this future. Fine. Now, she is watching television now. Lived here for more than a year. That means she completed living. It doesn't mean if she stopped living there, how can she watch television? How can she watch television then? Is watching. That means she started watching more than a year ago. Let us say she started watching more than a year ago, and now also like she started living there, not watching. She started living there more than a year, and now she is watching television. That means still there only. And when she vacates, we don't know. Sometime in the future, right? Has never created any problem for us. That means till now. Till now, that means present perfect. Till now, she has never created any problem. But there, what do we require to have? Started in the past, continuing in the present, and end somewhere in the future. That means what is the tense we require there? That should be in present perfect continuous. Do remember, action started in the past, continuing the present, and somewhere in the future. Let me give a beautiful example, a simple example here. You have been learning English since your childhood, but no improvement whatsoever. That is different story. So here, when did you start learning English? Past. Let us assume childhood. Okay, is it completed? No. Now also you're learning. When it completes? Sometime in the future, we don't know. So what is the tense I used here? You have been learning. Have been plus V4. Present perfect continuous. So that is what we require here. Present perfect continuous tense. Is that clear? Because action started in the past containing the present. So what we require here is the woman who is watching television in that room when now. Here instead of lived you have to write it as has been living. Has been plus V4 present perfect continuous. Has been living here for more than a year, but she has never created till now. Never created. Has plus V3 till now. Present perfect. So your answer is option B. Now let's see the next one. Well, here is the next question. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. You have to find an error here. Each of the employees whom the company has chosen to take part in the international seminar to be conducted in the city hall are up to the mark. So that's your sentence. Let's see where there is an error. Which part has an error? Each of the employees. Is there any error here? Each of the employees. There is no error, right? Whom the company has chosen. Whom is a relative pronoun which we discussed already in our previous quiz sessions. Whom is a relative pronoun used in objective case. Who is for subjective case. Whom is for objective case for persons. So whom is correctly used. Okay. Whom refers to the employees. The company has chosen. The company is singular. So we require singular verb. Here has plus V3. Has chosen. Correct. The company has chosen to take part in the international seminar. 2 plus V1 to infinitive. To take part in the international seminar to be conducted. Till here there is no error. It is clear. In the city hall. See, yes, I told you in your previous quiz. Anything between two commas. Look at here. Each of the employees, comma. Anything between two commas is an additional information about the noun that comes before it. In addition to that, we have relative pronoun, and you know the function of relative pronoun. Relative pronoun relates some additional information to the noun that comes before it. So here, the company has chosen to take part in the international seminar to be conducted in the city hall. It's all about the each of the employees. Now, each of the employees are up to the mark. This is the actual verb. Okay. Now, each of, already we discussed when I discussed one of. So, each of, one of, either of, neither of, some of, many of. Did you remember this concept which we have discussed? So, they generally take noun in plural. Each of the employees, one of the students, either of the friends, neither of the girls, some of the boys, many of the students, always plural noun. But the verb depends upon the number of the actual subject. Here subject is not this noun. The subject is actually what the subject of the sentence. What the subject of the sentence here? Each. Here one. One means single. So each means what? Do you remember? Each means one at a time. One at a time. Each, every, either, neither. Distributive pronouns expressed one at a time. So each can be expressed for two. That means use it for two or more than two. You can use it for two or more than two. But that is not what we require. What we require is each means one at a time. That means each is singular. Hence the verb must be singular. One is singular, so verb is singular. Either, that means one of two, singular. Neither, zero of two, singular. Some, plural. Many, plural. So here each requires singular verb, but what do we have here? Are is there, that is the error. So what we require is singular verb is. Each of the employees is up to the mark, one at a time. So your error is with option D. So your answer is option D. Do you remember this concept? Now let's see the next one. Well, here is the next question. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Here you have to find an error in the given sentence. What is the sentence here? Needless to say. Needless to say, an expression. Okay, what is that? No sooner were all these large and rather expensive operations finished when the main electricity was brought in and the turbine became obsolete. So the sentence in past, okay, fine. But here we have connectors. What is that? No sooner. So you should know the concept, but no sooner, hardly, and scarcely. So when do we use this? No sooner, hardly, scarcely. Let me give 4 points here about this. No sooner, hardly, and scarcely are used when two actions take place immediately one after the other. Two actions take place immediately one after the other. They should be taking place immediately. If not, you don't need to use these structures. Okay, that is number one. Point number two. Whenever we use these, you have to know what are their appropriate connectors. No sooner is always followed by than, and hardly is followed by when, and scarcely is also followed by when. Why hardly and scarcely are followed by when but no sooner than? Because hardly and scarcely are adverbs that take when as a conjunction, whereas no sooner, here you can see sooner is a comparative form compared to adjective. Soon, sooner, soonest. In comparative form, generally we do use than as a conjunction. So that's the reason it is taking than. All right. Next. Here we talked about two actions. Action 1 and action 2. Generally, I'm talking about generally. Generally speaking, action 1 should be in perfect tense, whereas action 2 will be in simple tense. That means if action 1 is in past perfect, action 2 should be in past simple, simple past. If action 1 is in present perfect, action 2 should be in simple present. Or it is also possible that both actions can be in simple past, that is past simple, but you cannot have present and past together. Again, I'm reiterating, it cannot be possible to have present and past together. Okay, now that is third point. Now moving on to fourth point, the structure. Structure of the sentence with this is very important. Generally, when we talked about two actions, two clauses, generally if the sentence begins with these structures, what are those? No sooner or hardly or scarcely. If sentence begins with those, they should be immediately followed by auxiliary verb. Then subject, next main verb, followed by object, and that conjunction, what is that? When or than, followed by subject plus verb plus object, the second clause. That means what should be highlighted here is if a sentence begins with these, then they should be immediately followed by auxiliary verb. So these are the 4 points you have to remember whenever you come across these: no sooner, hardly, and scarcely. Alright. Now our sentence begin with no sooner. You see, needless to say is an expression, put it aside. So needless to say what? No sooner. Sentence begin with no sooner. So immediately followed by, see, verb here, right? So it is correct. No sooner were all these large and expensive operations finished. So no sooner followed by auxiliary verb were, and all these large and rather expensive operations is our subject. Finished, main verb. It is in passive voice. Next, object, no there. When is given, but is when appropriate here? No sooner takes than. So that where the error is. So you got your answer. The error is with option C, because there you have to replace when with than. Then the main electricity was brought in and the turbine became obsolete after years. So that's your answer. Do remember this concept about no sooner, hardly, and scarcely. Now let's see the next question.